can AI like really get us better than we get ourselves? It almost sounds like something out of a movie, but that's exactly what we're going to be looking at today.
Yeah.
How artificial intelligence is, changing the whole game when it comes to psychology.
Yeah, the thing that really gets me
Mm-hmm.
is how fast it's all happening.
Right.
It's going from just crunching numbers
Mm-hmm.
to actually shaping how we even think about mental health.
Absolutely. And we've got all these AI chatbots now, like
Oh, right.
ChatGPT and Replica, and they're having like these therapy-like conversations with people and,
Yeah.
analyzing all these interactions as it's happening.
Uh-huh.
Remember like those mood rings we used to have as kids?
Right.
This is like that, but it's on another level.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It goes even, further.
Oh, really?
There are systems now that can look at things like your sleep,
Oh, wow.
even your social media, and start predicting, potential mental health issues before they even become a problem.
Wow. So it's like an early warning system for your mind.
Exactly.
Okay. That's both super cool and a little creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
But hold on, does that mean we're gonna have like AI therapists soon? Is that even possible?
Closer than you think, actually.
Really?
There's already one called Wobot.
Wobot.
It uses something called cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT,
Okay.
to help people with things like anxiety and depression.
Okay.
It's not just like generic advice. It actually guides you through exercises and helps you challenge those negative thought patterns.
So just like a human therapist would.
Exactly.
So how does it do that? Can AI really like grasp how messy human emotions are? We're not robots, are we?
No, but AI is getting surprisingly good at reading between the lines.
Really?
Think about it.
Okay.
It can analyze your tone of voice. It can see the subtle shifts in your facial expressions, even
Hmm.
track the words you use in text messages and all that to spot, signs of depression.
So it's like AI is learning to speak our emotional language,
Mhm.
even if it doesn't feel the emotions itself.
Right.
But how far can that really go? Can I truly understand what it's like to be human?
That's the big question, right?
Right.
AI is really good at spotting patterns and trends,
Uh-huh.
but being human, it's more than just data points.
Right.
There's this whole world of individual stories and cultural influences and social dynamics
Yeah.
that shape how we feel and why we feel it.
Uh-huh.
That's where things get really complex, even
Yeah.
for us humans, to fully grasp.
Totally. So it's not as simple as just plugging in some algorithm
Yeah.
and poof, you've got the perfect AI therapist.
Yeah.
But I'm still curious about if these systems are already being used for therapy,
Right.
what are the experts saying about how effective they are?
That's where it gets really interesting because the early studies on this AI-powered CBT are actually pretty promising.
Hmm.
They're showing that, for some people, these tools can be just as effective as traditional therapy,
Really?
especially for milder forms of anxiety and depression.
So AI therapy could actually be a viable option for some people.
Yeah.
That's huge, but wouldn't that mean therapists are out of a job?
Not necessarily. I think it's more likely to be like a partnership
Okay.
where AI handles the more, routine parts of therapy, like tracking your progress,
Okay.
providing personalized exercises, things like that.
Okay.
And then the human therapist can focus on the deeper, more nuanced elements of care.
So it's not about AI replacing therapists. It's about giving them this super powered assistant
Right.
to help them do their jobs even better.
Exactly.
I like that. But let's be real, using AI for something as personal as therapy,
Yeah.
there have got to be some risks involved, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like what?
There's some big questions we need to answer before we, fully embrace AI in this space.
Mm.
Like, what happens to all that data that AI is collecting about our mental health?
Right.
Can we trust it's being used responsibly?
Yeah, that's a huge concern because we're talking about some of our most private,
Yeah,
sensitive information.
exactly.
And what about misdiagnosis? I mean, AI is still learning, right?
Right.
Could it make mistakes that could actually harm someone?
Yeah, that's a valid concern, and it's one that, researchers are working hard to address.
Okay.
The goal is to make sure that these systems are as accurate and reliable as possible.
Yeah.
But like any new technology, there's going to be a learning curve.
It sounds like we're on the edge of a major shift in how we think about mental health
Yeah,
and the role that technology plays in it.
for sure.
I'm definitely feeling a mix of excitement and caution about where all this is headed.
Me too.
But one thing's for sure, the conversation is just beginning,
Uh-huh.
and it's going to be fascinating to see how it all unfolds. Okay, we've covered a lot here, from AI chatbots to the potential for personalized mental health care.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to unpack,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to the impact AI could have on the future of psychology research and training.
For sure.
So buckle up,
Yeah.
because we're just getting started.
That's right. You know, you mentioned the potential for AI to personalize mental health care.
Yeah.
Let's dig into that a little bit.
Okay.
You know, we've all heard that saying, one size fits all,
Right.
but that definitely doesn't apply to mental health.
No, not at all. What works for one person
Exactly.
might not work for another.
Exactly.
So how could AI even help with that?
Imagine a system that takes into account your unique genetic predispositions,
Okay.
your lifestyle,
Okay.
even your social media activity.
Wow.
And it analyzes all of that to create a mental health plan that's specifically tailored to you.
Okay. That's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It's like having a personal mental health coach
Yeah.
in your pocket.
Right.
But wouldn't that take the human element out of therapy?
Not at all. I think of it more as
What?
AI is a powerful tool that can help therapists do their jobs even better.
Okay.
For example, AI could help identify patterns in a patient's behavior
Uh-huh.
that a therapist might miss,
Okay.
leading to more targeted and effective treatments.
So it's about collaboration,
Exactly.
not replacement.
Right.
AI can handle the data crunching,
Yes.
while the therapist focuses on building that human connection and providing support.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I see.
AI can also help with things like scheduling appointments,
Okay.
tracking progress, even providing reminders to take medication,
Right.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This frees up therapists to spend more time on the things that really matter,
Okay.
like talking to their patients and understanding their needs.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like AI taking care of all the logistics,
Yeah.
so the therapist can focus on the heart of therapy.
Exactly.
But I'm still wondering, could AI ever get so good that it could replace therapists altogether?
Right.
What do you think?
It's an interesting question, but I think it's important to remember that therapy is about more than just providing information
Mm-hmm.
or advice.
Right.
It's about empathy, understanding, and that human connection we talked about earlier.
Right.
Those are things that AI, at least as we know it today,
Yeah.
just can't replicate.
I see your point.
Yeah.
Even the most advanced AI can't truly understand what it's like to be human,
Right.
to experience emotions in all their complexity.
Exactly. And there's another aspect of therapy that AI would struggle with,
Okay.
the therapeutic relationship itself.
Huh.
The trust and rapport that develops between a therapist and their patient,
Mm-hmm.
it's a crucial part of the healing process.
You're right. You can't program trust into an algorithm. So it
Yes.
sounds like, at least for the foreseeable future,
Yeah.
human therapists aren't going anywhere. But what about the future of psychology research?
Mhm.
Could AI play a bigger role there?
Absolutely.
How so?
Imagine AI sifting through mountains of data,
Okay.
uncovering hidden patterns and connections that would take human researchers
Mm-hmm.
years, maybe even decades to
Yeah.
find.
Wow.
This could lead to major breakthroughs
Yeah.
in our understanding of mental health and potentially even the development of new treatments.
It's like having a superpowered research assistant
Right.
working 24/7.
Exactly.
But could AI take over the research process entirely?
I don't think so. AI is
Yeah.
a powerful tool,
Uh-huh.
but it's still just a tool.
Okay.
It takes human ingenuity and creativity to design the right studies,
Right.
interpret the results, ask the right questions.
So AI can do the heavy lifting,
Right.
but it still takes a human mind to make sense of it all and figure out what it really means.
Exactly.
That makes me wonder, could AI also be used to train future psychologists?
That's a fascinating area of exploration.
Yeah.
Imagine AI-powered simulations
Okay.
that allows psychology students to practice their skills in a safe and controlled environment.
Okay.
They could interact with virtual patients,
Mm.
make diagnoses, and even try out different therapeutic techniques,
Wow.
all with real-time feedback from the AI system.
Wow. That would be like having a virtual mentor guiding you every step of the way.
Exactly.
It could revolutionize psychology education.
For sure.
But are there any potential downsides to using AI in this way?
One concern is that over-reliance on AI could stifle
Oh, yeah.
creativity and critical thinking.
Right.
It's important to remember that AI is a product of human design,
Uh-huh.
and it can only be as good as the data it's trained on.
So we need to be careful not to let AI become a crutch.
Right.
We still need, like, human psychologists
Yeah.
who can think outside the box,
Yes.
challenge assumptions, and come up with, like, new and innovative approaches to understanding the human mind.
Couldn't agree more.
This has been a really thought-provoking conversation.
Yeah.
It's clear that AI is already having a major impact on psychology, and it's only going to get bigger from here.
For sure.
But as we move forward,
Yeah.
we need to ask ourselves some tough questions.
Like what?
What are the limits of what AI can do, and what should always be left to human judgment and compassion?
Those are the questions we all need to be grappling with right now.
Yeah.
And the answers aren't going to be simple or straightforward.
So to bring it back to where we started,
Yeah.
can AI truly understand us better than we understand ourselves?
Right.
I think we've learned that the answer is a lot more complicated than just yes or no.
Absolutely. AI can process information, spot patterns, even simulate conversations
Right.
in ways that we never could before.
Right.
But understanding the human experience with all its messiness and contradictions,
Yeah.
that's still something we're all figuring out, both with and without the help of AI.
So we've talked about the potential of AI in research and training, but there's, like, a big elephant in the room. We haven't really addressed the ethical side of all of this.
Right.
Using AI to, analyze something as personal as our mental health.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to raise some red flags.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what are some of the concerns there?
Well, it's like opening up this whole new toolbox.
Okay.
And with any powerful tool, there's potential for misuse.
Right.
One of the biggest concerns is data privacy.
Right.
We're talking about systems collecting, like, incredibly sensitive information
Yeah.
about our thoughts and feelings, even our, vulnerabilities.
Yeah. That's not something you want just floating around out there.
Exactly.
So how do we make sure this data is protected? Is there any way to guarantee that?
There's no, easy answer.
Right.
But it starts with transparency. We need to know exactly what data these systems are collecting, how they're using it, and who has access to it.
Right.
We need clear regulations, guidelines in place to prevent that data from being misused or exploited.
So it's not just about building better AI, it's about building ethical frameworks around it.
Exactly.
And what about, the potential for bias? We know that these systems can reflect the biases of their creators.
Oh, absolutely.
Could that lead to unfair or inaccurate diagnoses?
Yes.
Especially for, marginalized groups.
That's a critical point.
Yeah.
If a system is trained on data that's skewed towards a certain population or worldview, it's going to replicate those biases in its analysis.
Right.
That could mean misdiagnoses, inappropriate treatments,
Wow.
even reinforcing harmful stereotypes.
So it's not enough to just have the technology.
Right.
We need to make sure it's being developed and used responsibly.
Absolutely.
And that brings us back to, the human element. We need psychologists, ethicists, policymakers, all working together to ensure that AI in mental health is used for good.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
We need to approach this with a sense of, shared responsibility,
Okay.
recognizing both the incredible potential and the potential pitfalls of AI in this space.
This whole deep dive has been like a real eye-opener. It's clear that AI is already having this major impact on psychology, and it's only going to get bigger from here.
Right.
But as we move forward,
Yeah.
we need to ask ourselves some tough questions.
Absolutely.
Like what are the limits of what AI can do,
Yeah.
and what should always be left to human judgment and compassion?
Those are the questions that we all need to be grappling with right now.
Yeah.
And the answers aren't going to be simple or straightforward.
So to bring it back to where we started,
Okay.
can AI truly understand us better than we understand ourselves?
No.
I think we've learned that the answer is a lot more complicated than a simple yes or no.
It really is.
Yeah.
AI can process information and spot patterns, even simulate conversations in ways we never could before.
Right.
But, understanding the human experience with all its messiness and contradictions,
Right.
that's still something we're all figuring out,
Yeah.
both with and without the help of AI.
This deep dive has been a fascinating journey into the world of AI and psychology.
It has.
We've explored, these incredible possibilities,
Mhm.
the ethical challenges,
Yeah,
and the fundamental questions this technology is raising about what it means to be human.
absolutely.
And for our listeners, we hope this has sparked your curiosity about this evolving relationship between
Mhm.
humans and AI.
For sure.
Keep asking questions,
Oh.
keep exploring,
Uh-huh.
and as always, thanks for joining us on the deep dive.